Karibu AMG Realtors. We have specialized in selling of land across the country in areas like Nanyuki, Naivasha, Nakuru, Juja, Kagunda Road, Malindi, and the Abadeas. Contact us today for land investment solutions and have your title deed delivered within 60 days upon completion of payment. SMS AMG to 40299 or call us on +254 748 229 941. AMG Realtors. We don't just deal in land, we deal in value.
Thank you so much, Khyati, for being here and for joining today's podcast. How are you?
I'm absolutely fine. The weather here is fantastic, so feeling at the top of the world. Thank you so much for inviting me over.
You're welcome. Anytime. We always feel welcome. We always feel happy when people come from all over the world and connect on the same platform, because we know that social audio is growing, and this is one of the ways we can connect with people outside. Even though we're so far away, we can still feel like we're close in as well. So I thank you so much. Yeah. It would be nice to know more about you. Who are you? What you do? And just give us a little introduction about yourself.
Sure. So, non-verbal communication, or body language as we call it, that's my passion. My name is Khyati Bhatt, and I am the founder of Simply Body Talk and Q-Kids, two different brands, but both focusing on how we can use non-verbal communication to bring out the best versions of people, be it senior managers or be it children and parents. So that's me in the crux, and we're basically trying to reach out to people everywhere across the world and let them know that if you feel that in the digital world the essence of non-verbal communication is going to get lost, then that's absolutely not correct. I mean, the lesser the face-to-face interactions we are going to be having, the more it's going to be important that we understand people for who we are, and that's basically where we can actually use body language to make more sense of what people are feeling and thinking about.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, I think so too, because entrepreneurship is it's very competitive, because everybody has something to give, everybody has something to offer, but not everyone has the same skill, not everyone has the same style, so there are different things that you bring to the table. So for entrepreneurs, how do you see them build their body language when it comes to connecting with new people and also returning people or returning customers? How do you see the difference between the two?
Yeah, so I think for entrepreneurs, the challenge is they have to do multiple roles at the same time, right? Not just understanding people when they are connecting with, say, clients, or even when they are forming their own teams. They have to be able to understand people, their personalities, because only if you can gel well with people can you actually work well together. So from that perspective, then when they go to networking events, and within seconds you have to leave that impression, so that when you follow back with people, they are open to listening in to you. To maybe finding investors if you are actually a startup and looking to get funded. So you need to make that impression on the investors and make them understand that you as a team is properly bonded. So different kind of aspects that come with entrepreneurship, and in all of them it's very, very important that you make that right impact on people, and B, understand what people are thinking or feeling, so that that proper connect can be made.
Yeah,
so that's the way it is.
I think so too. There are different types of body languages as well. How do people identify them? Because when you hear body language, you're like, oh, okay, that's what I just did. That's also a form of expression. But how does someone detect those things when it makes sense to them and they also can respond back?
Right. So if we look at body language, obviously there are a lot of personality based or culture based differences that exist, but there are a few basic things that you can keep in mind. See, the way non-verbal communication has evolved, it's not something that's recent. It's more dated than the language. So from that perspective, when we were apes living in jungles, that's when we started using non-verbal communication. So the idea is anything that we are trying to signal, our body is always communicating what we are thinking or feeling. So either the body is going to say that this person is comfortable, confident, or it's going to tell you that this is a person who's not feeling so comfortable, or they are not really, in the moment, not enjoying, not liking it, or they need to be comforted. So broadly, you can identify these two things, and once you get a sense of which one it is, you can make more sense of, what do you want to do about it. So that's, body language in a very, very brief crux. And wherever you are, most of us, that's how we, behave. So when you are feeling comfortable or confident, you want to open yourselves up, you want to bring yourselves closer, you want to remove things in between, the two of you. That's how it goes. And when you're not feeling that comfortable, you want to kind of either close inwards, or move away, or start orienting yourself in a different way, or you start comforting yourself in different manners, like probably rubbing your hands or rubbing your cheeks, different things. So once you understand, these two differences, that when somebody is comfortable and settled down, how do they look like? And when somebody is not feeling that good or confident or comfortable, what do they look like? So then you start looking for these things in a conversation. So probably, when I would have interacted with you in the first 2 minutes, I would understand, okay, this is how you, behave, or this is how you settle down, or this is how you respond when you like an answer, or when you think that I can, maybe elaborate a bit more.
Yeah.
So then I look for those cues as we go ahead. That's how it works. That you have to be communicating with people, looking at their body language, and also be using the right body language to connect with them. And if I see that you're not feeling that good about something, then I need to tweak not just what I'm saying, but even the way I'm putting it across to you. So it's a lot of things, but with practice, we get it, and a lot of us are actually very good at it, very, very naturally.
Yeah, now that I'm even thinking about it too, this begins right from an early stage, from an early age too. When you think about children, when they connect, when they're playing, when they're crying, they're connecting and they don't know what they're doing, but they're expressing themselves. So how does someone that didn't know what they were expressing understand or conceptualize it, so that it doesn't feel like this is what I'm used to, or this is who I am, or this is what I need to change? How does someone become adaptable? Because some people, this is all they know, this is all they do, they don't want to switch, they don't want to turn. How do they transform? How do they become, what's what I'm looking for? How do they become flexible?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the key to all of this is that you have to be a good listener. When I say listener, it's not just listening into what somebody is saying through the verbal communication, but also through their body language. Because a lot of times we are all so eager to put our point across that we sometimes fail to see what's coming from the other side as well. And this can get more challenging when there's not one person I have to look at, but a lot of people sitting on a table, or when you're doing a group conversation, etc. So the idea is to look for those cues that are coming from people, see if they are okay with what you're saying, comfortable, not comfortable, and then you can respond accordingly, you can tweak yourselves accordingly. Because the thing is, see, if you're not going to be flexible, then somewhere probably today you'll make your point across, and today you'll get what you want, but it's not a long lasting relationship that you can establish. So I'll give you an example.
Okay.
For example, in negotiations, right, people feel that if you are intimidating and you show that right kind of power, then you can get what you want. But there's a lot of research which says that if you spend more time in actually genuinely trying to connect and establish a relationship with the other party, and also understand their cues and put across what you are feeling into the negotiation, then that helps you to establish something that lasts a much longer time than that small deal which you might have won at the moment. So that's it for you, that not being flexible is really not the answer. You really want to focus on the other person's body language, understand what they are all about, and especially when the words and the body language are not matching. So then you have to understand, or try and understand, why is it not matching? Is it that you're trying to be polite and not let me down because you feel that this is somebody who is enthusiastic and speaking, so I should let her speak? Or is it because you have something else which is lined up, and that's why you are saying something but you're meaning something else. So just giving an example. So once we understand these things, we can respond better and understand what is it that we need to do so that we can connect and build those relations with people around us.
Yeah, I think the listening part that you mentioned is very important and key in relationships too, because when you're listening to their body cues, you're listening to those non-verbal cues as well, because it really makes you want to respond back in a way. If you feel happy, you will respond back happy. If you feel sad, you will respond in a sad way. But at the same time, some people don't know whether you're sad, sarcastic, happy, confused. You don't know what to do. So is there a way that you can listen and also not over listen, if there's a word like that, so that you don't go across or act like, oh, I know what you're saying before you speak?
Okay, yeah, obviously. I mean, see, there's a lot of research which proves that, the more you listen to people, the better it is, because, the other person feels heard.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, you don't want to over-listen or, over-interpret what's happening. So the best way is, if I feel that you're feeling so and so, then I might just, call it out if I feel that that's the right response to give. That I feel that you are distracted. Is there something else that you want to attend to, and then we get back, instead of cutting the conversation because I feel that you're not listening in. So that's the way to look at it, right? And when it comes to the over listening part, so most of us are good at interpreting people emotions. So we are born with the basic interpretation of emotions, etc. Then over time, with experience, we learn to make more accurate decisions about what's actually happening, what's not happening. So the idea is, the first thing is, you have to be able to look at people and look at everything that's in front of you. Now sadly, somewhere in the field of body language, facial expressions are given way too much weightage. Right? So if you're just focusing on that bit and then feeling that I thought that my friend was feeling down and that's why I interrupted them, because I knew that anyways they are not listening to me, then did you look at the entire body language and understand, or were you just focusing on that face and that's how you interpreted it? So the thing is, you have to get the entire science correct. There's a systematic way of understanding people through their body language. You get that accurately, and then you see what you want to do about it. Is it a right moment to call out and ask the person? Is it a good idea to not put that emotion into the picture? So for example, I feel that my friend, like in the last example, he was feeling sad. So do I want to bring it up now because he's anyway sad? So maybe I can, distract him, divert him, go into another topic. Then I feel that, now he's settling back. So probably I could go back to that topic which I felt was making him sad. And then if I feel the moment is right, then probably I could ask him more about it. So that's how you, read people, make sense of what you want to do. Do you want to talk about the subject? Do you want to distract them? Do you want to come back to that topic? All of that. And people's body language, that gives you that cue. Supposing you bring a topic up and you feel that the person is not feeling that comfortable because you brought the topic up, then you will get that cue that, it's not a good idea to, over listen to the person sitting across. It's better to just move on and, take up the next conversation. And that's how you can probably respond.
So how do you transition from that point? Like you meant, that was a very good point you mentioned. How do you transition from that shaky point to a more relaxed state? Because you have to say something or do something to switch the mood. So how does someone transition from, okay, sorry, I didn't know you were going to get offended, to what are you thinking? How does someone transition easily without feeling offended?
Okay, so somewhere the way you are putting yourself across, that matters. So your body language matters, but along with that, what you're saying also has a weightage, right? It's not just that we communicate in sign language or we're just looking at each other's body language and making sense of the conversation.
Right.
So the idea is, the first thing I do is I introspect. Is it me that's doing it to my friend, or is it him with a mood or a baggage that is brought into the conversation? So if I had brought in a subject and I saw that the person across else started becoming uncomfortable with it, then I know that okay, it was probably the topic that I brought in, or the way I was talking about it, so my body language, which was the root cause of this, right? So that's how you understand. Or if the person is bringing in a mood into the conversation, then you know about it, because you know what your friend generally behaves like, feels like, responds like, and today is different.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the first point, that you first make sense of why this person is feeling in a different kind of mood, and then you could, if it's your conversation or your body language, then you can obviously correct it. But if you feel that the mood had come from somewhere else, then you can gradually, bring in a few topics which you feel are probably a common interest, or something that's not too related to the person, so not a very personal kind of topic. You bring in something a little less personal, and once you see the person gradually opening up, right? So again, the verbal and the non-verbal communication will give you that cue. So for example, your friend was not responding at all. He was sitting with a slouched shoulders, or not even smiling back, not maintaining any eye contact. Maybe his body was turned away from you. Then you see him that at least he started nodding back, or at least he started maintaining a little eye contact. So that tells you that he's somewhere started to warm up to the conversation. So you are on the right path. But if he continues to not respond at all, then okay, this is not a topic that's going to work. Maybe I can switch to another topic and try. If you try 3-4 times different topics and nothing works, then you know that probably this is definitely not the right time to ask questions. Then you can probably just start out with your own story, or do something that's similar.
Yeah.
Because when we do a similar activity, that tunes us into the same mindset. So maybe that your friend enjoys a cup of ice cream. So just get 2 cups of ice creams. You both eat together. Nobody speaks anything, and suddenly you tune in, and your friend will start opening up. So these are different non-verbal techniques that you can try out, and most of the times they work, unless it's an extreme case that we are talking about. Then it's probably the best to just let it be, and go back to the person at a later stage.
Yeah, I think so too. One of the things that also caught my attention when you were saying this was the eye contact part. Some people can't maintain eye contact for more than 5 seconds because they don't know how to react. Their body will be jittery. They won't feel like they're not addressing the point. Even when you're doing business, you want to talk to the person and have that eye contact to show that you're in tune. So how does someone who does not know how to maintain eye contact begin to start maintaining eye contact?
Okay, so when we talk about eye contact, there are 1 or 2, popular myths which exist. One is that, you have to keep continuing to look into somebody's eyes and keep talking. Now, this can get a little threatening for the person sitting across from you as well. So the idea is that, you don't really want to keep on maintaining eye contact all the time. It's very natural, it's very normal to break eye contact for some time and come back to the person, especially when you're trying to gather your thoughts.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. Okay. But if you're talking about somebody who's very shy, who don't know, or they're doing business for the first time, and they feel a little intimidated, maybe because the person they're going to meet is a little powerful, or they're not very sure about what is the content they want to talk about, it's highly possible.
Yeah.
So with practice and skill, we all become naturally confident, but probably in those first few meetings, you need a little help with what to do. In those cases, there are 2 or 3 techniques which you can try. One of them is that you don't look at the person, but there's this part on the forehead where you can focus, right? So that's one place where the person will feel that you're looking very close, but you don't have to look into their eyes. And the other technique is to look away at the eye level. So again, the idea is that you're not looking down, you're not looking away, but you're looking just next to the person at their eye level, but not maintaining eye contact. Because what can probably be the reason why you're not maintaining eye contact is because you want to gather your thoughts. But the person who's sitting across, they should not feel that you're not interested or you're looking less confident. So when you try any of these 2 techniques, that generally just works.
I like what you said about looking at the forehead, and also looking directly at them but past them. Now, if somebody tries that and they're trying it in the moment, will it look weird, or would they have to practice it before they do it?
See, any kind of body language changes that you want to bring about,
Yeah.
I always recommend people that the safest place to try is your friends and family. And if you want to try it on in your business environment, then you do it in situations that are not very high stakes. So maybe in your everyday conversations you can try these things out, because if you look at the entire body, there are so many different things which are there. So once you start focusing, if you feel that, oh, I need to correct A, B, C and D, then you're trying to do everything at the same time, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So the best thing is that you take up any one thing. So if you feel that, okay, today I want to try and improve my eye contact, try it out in those conversations which are not very high stakes. So for example, when you're having your food together with your colleagues, or in your daily meetings that you're having with people who know you for who you are on a daily basis, right? So you try it out there. With practice, you just become naturally good at it, because there's no point in trying to remember what you want to do with your body language and what do you want to speak, how do you want to respond to what somebody is asking all in the moment. It's not possible. So the idea is that with practice you just naturally change the way you behave and the way you respond, so that it just becomes a natural part of you. So after enough practice, you will be able to maintain eye contact no matter who's sitting across from you. And then you wouldn't really have to think about these techniques.
Yeah, I think so too. And that also goes into relationships too, with like significant others, as you're connecting with them, both in person, also on phone, even text messages. The way you send them text message also can change the mood. You don't know how to, you may say something, but the tone of how you say it can change the whole idea of what you're planning to say. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so how does someone consider those things when they're texting? Do they have to read the text out loud to feel like, how do they do it so that they don't feel like, oh sorry?
Okay, so what I would say is, though text is not really my forte, but sometimes it's possible that especially those who don't know you well. So when you're texting to your friend, they generally know that, okay, when you speak see you soon, you really mean see you soon. You don't mean that I really don't want to see you. So that's the thing, right? So unless people really know you, it's best to elaborate it so that there are no miscommunications at all.
Yeah.
And if you feel that what you've written could be misinterpreted, then you can always take help of the emojis which are there, right? Again, a little non-verbal, but that's the best way to do it, because you don't want to be taken in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So that's all I would say, because anything that you feel that this is a important conversation. Now we have video calls, video chats. They are not that difficult to have, right? You just switch on a button and you're sitting face to face. It's the best technique. I mean, that's what I would suggest to anybody who feels that there's an important conversation that you have to do. Even if, for example, your daughter or your son is asking you that, can I go over to my friend's place, and you feel that you want to deny it. I mean, if it's a daily thing, it's a different thing, but generally if you say a yes and you feel that okay, today if I say a no, my child might get very disappointed because they were really looking forward to it, then it's best to just do that video call and talk to them and tell them that I don't mean bad. And you also look at the reactions. If you feel that those reactions are too extreme, then you can probably promise them something, and obviously you have to live up to it, but you can promise them something to make the disappointment a little less.
Yeah.
So the idea is always to be able to check the other person's response, especially when it's very important.
Yeah, that's a good one. I thank you for mentioning that, because when you said like see you soon, it's like bye, but it's not bad. It's just an act of saying it. So I think the body language also affects that, because even your body language affects how you text. It affects how you respond. You may be having a bad day and then you just spill it over to everybody around you, or you may be happy and you don't know how to control it. So those are the things I think that are very important. So if there's one thing that you want to leave with the audience and let them know, what would it be on mastering body language techniques?
So what I would say is one thing, if you ask me, it's going to be that when you are talking to people, please leave your phones aside and actually talk to them, because that's what I have seen as becoming a part of every conversation. We are trying to multitask all the time. So I'm trying to check my text and I'm saying that, okay, yeah, you go on, I'm listening to you and this is how I want to, respond. But it doesn't work like that, right? So you need to actually be in the moment with the person when you are actually communicating with them. And always remember that, body language is a two-way communication. The way you are responding could be because of something that you're bringing into the conversation, so some emotion from a different conversation altogether, but it can also be because of the way I'm coming across, right? So you need to be a little careful over there, and introspecting yourself is always a good idea, right? So what am I feeling? Like you mentioned, sometimes we have a different emotion and we bring it into another conversation. So if I'm attending to my own body and the way it's signaling to me, I will get a sense of, what am I feeling in the moment. Because the more we, progress into a digital era, emotional intelligence is going to be more and more important. So understanding yourself is more important than understanding others as well, right? So to get a sense of what you're feeling at a moment, your own body language can really help you a lot. So these are the 2-3 things that, in the digital era, we all want to remember. One is you leave the phone aside when you're having important conversations with people. Second is that, you are responding not just to what you're feeling, but also to who I am and what I'm, doing into the moment. And the third one is that, we kind of, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. Third thing is that we, I lost it. So let's just leave it at 2. Yeah.
Okay, 2 is good. 2 is better than none.
Yeah. So you cut that off.
No problem.
Okay.
Thank you so much for giving me this insight, because it really helps a lot of people who are listening, to learn more about how to do body language better, how to respond better, how to become more in tune with conversations, especially the phone part, because we're living in a society where phones are everywhere. So back 20 years ago, that was not a problem, but now it's all over the place. So thank you so much for highlighting that, because I know going forward it's only getting more and more advanced. Yeah, that's a really good one. So I appreciate it. If there's any way they can reach out to you, let's say they want to connect with you, what are the ways that are possible that they can be able to reach out and reach out to you, individually or corporately? Yeah.
Sure. So I'm there on LinkedIn as Khyati Bhatt, and we have a website which is simplybodytalk.com. So we have a lot of interesting articles on body language. We keep on analyzing different personalities, news that are in the moment, and also how to read body language more systematically. We have online courses as well. But if you just want to understand body language to start out with, I think you can just visit our website. Lots of free stuff, lots of free downloads. And that's pretty much it. We are on all social media handles as Simply Body Talk. Just look it up and you'll find us there.
Definitely, and it will also be available in the description for you as well as usual, so that people can be able to tap in and listen while they're listening to you and also communicate. So I really thank you so much, Khyati, for being here, and I look forward to bringing you back onto the stage again.
Thank you for giving me the chance to talk.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
Anytime.
You had wonderful questions, and I wish you all the best with your podcast.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
See you.
See you.